this is a story I feel like was not covered enough by the mainstream media. I feel like it was more just kind of glossed over, like, oh, just no big deal. So I really wanted to talk about this. So there were massive protests at the University of Washington 2 nights ago, and they continued on a little bit yesterday. Anti-Israel protests, pro-Palestine protesters, however you want to word them, phrase them. They were taking over parts of the campus, destroying parts of the buildings, setting things on fire, clashing with police officers. Police didn't really do much about it while it was going on. Eventually, they did arrest, it seems like, at least 30 anti-Israeli protesters. So I wanted to show you some of the video coverage of it happening and just about how it started and why it seems like this probably stuff is going to keep going on. Before I could jump into it, make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below, and let's just jump into it. So New York Post reports cops arrest 30 anti-Israel protesters who took over University of Washington. So a big thing apparently is that they were protesting the university and getting them to cut ties with Boeing, which Boeing donated $10 million to the school in 2022 and has a facility nearby due to the company's defense contracts and the U.S. military support for the Israel Defense Forces. Look, if you're going to the school, right, you have a choice to go to another school that doesn't do that. Like, you can look up smaller schools or different schools that don't get money from these companies. Like, you don't have to literally set fire to stuff on campus and like force them to change. That's never going to work. And then apparently this is back in 2022. They're just now protesting it for some reason. So a lot of these students probably started going there after this happened. So that's the main reason. So it's interesting to see how different news articles cover this. So you have the New York Post is usually considered more right-wing, call them anti-Israel protesters. You have ABC News, who just calls them protesters. So more than 25 protesters arrested after taking over University of Washington building. And then you have News Nation, who I think some might say lean more to the left because their biggest guy is Chris Cuomo. I think they're a little more in the middle personally. They just say police clash with protesters at University of Washington. Yeah, so this is pretty crazy. So before I want to show you some of the videos, if you guys don't know who Cam Higbee is, he did a really good job of covering a lot of these videos I'm about to show you. He was there on the ground in disguise as one of them to get coverage of everything going on. And he actually gets attacked at one point. So this is YouTube. I'll put a link to it in the description. He has some of these videos here. The full video is like 50 minutes long here. Really good person to follow. His ex has a lot of it too. So this is the first video I saw of it personally when it was happening. You see police are literally getting pushed back by protesters. Look at this. It looks like they have these makeshift riot shields out of trash cans. And police are just walking away. They're just like, whatever, you can have the campus. It looks like they built a barrier here so no one can come, like they can't drive vehicles into here. Like, so Cam Higbee says Antifa pushes Seattle PD down a hill, fully repelling them from the lecture hall of interdisciplinary engineering. The engineering building is what they took over. They were originally called Antifa at first, but I guess they're now just Palestinian protesters. I don't know if there's any connection or not. That's basically what's happening here. This one is crazy. They're literally shouting death to police.
We charge you with genocide.
Please clear the street.
Shut the up!
On the sidewalk.
Get to the police!
These officers. If
Get
you're
to the
dangerous,
police!
you could be subject to arrest.
Have you noticed they always have masks on too? Like, why? Yeah, like obviously they're trying to cover their identity, but like, why are you? If you're so confident with your side and your view and what you're doing, why would you feel the need to protect your identity? So this was actually a fire started really close to a building. So apparently several e-scooters and electric bike batteries have exploded. Yeah, that's insane. Let me go to his page real quick. So I don't have this video pulled up. I'm not going to play this video because I feel like YouTube might think this is, might take it down for this reason. So this was him running. These people like discovered who he was. So him and this lady, Katie Daviscourt, I think that's his like, I guess as another reporter. I don't know if she's the camera woman. I think she was the one holding the camera. but they ran at them once they discovered like they weren't a part of them, and he ended up at one point pepper spraying them. So you can kind of see it there, and then he's running away because they were just getting so close they wouldn't stop. It's insane. These people are. See, you can see there he is in disguise. I mean, he's got the mask all black. He looks like he blends in pretty good, you know. This is another guy that covers stuff like this, Jonathan Cho. He goes to places like Portland and Seattle, like big cities like this. He's pretty good to follow too. So this just shows more of those fires that Cam Higby already covered. There's right there the barrier. Like, this is insane. Look at that. Just senseless destruction. Here's more. There, you see their makeshift crash can riot shields pushing back a patrol vehicle. Look at that. Really just pushing them off campus. That's absolutely crazy. These schools have no control over their campuses. And then this is crazy too. So this is just, actually, let me push this back a little bit. So hold on, I'm going to show you this first. I got a little disorganized here. So this is their damage they caused. Pro-Palestinian protesters caused $1 million damage to the UW engineering building. So that was the building they occupied. You can see that broken windows, broken equipment during a violent demonstration. 31 of people were arrested and booked in the county jail. They'll probably get out the next day. I doubt they'll probably just get hit with like a fine. Like they'll probably get a slap on the wrist. It says described pro-Palestinian protesters barricaded themselves inside the nearly brand new interdisciplinary engineering building on campus Monday evening. The building, which just opened with a soft launch to students in March, was funded in part with a $50 million from the Washington State legislature. So if you live in Washington State, your tax dollars paid for this building, and these students just destroyed the crap out of it. Let's see. News through the building to show how doors were pulled off of hinges, others were glued shut, machine manufacturing tools with thousands of dollars were broken and smashed, and a Boeing mural, with fresh paint and signage was defaced. Damage to CNC machine tools as extensive. Yet the University of Washington was reluctant to discuss any of it on Tuesday. The UW police referred questions to university spokesperson Victor Bolta, who told Como News no interviews would be granted and requested questions in writing. Requested questions in writing. So they want the questions ahead of time so they can think about how to answer it. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's the thing. These campuses have no control over anything. I thought there was something I had pulled up. No, I guess I don't have it pulled up. I thought I did. There was a statement from Washington. One second, let me pull it up for you. The University of Washington made a statement. I thought I had it pulled up. I think this was a while later, though. Yeah, this is after a lot of it even already happened. They said, we condemn last night's violent and illegal occupation of the UW building. So this is their whole statement right here. This was no peaceful protest in support of Palestinian rights or against the war in Gaza. I condemn this dangerous, violent, and illegal building occupation and related vandalism. I also condemn in the strongest terms the group's statement celebrating the October 7th Hamas terrorist attacks against Israeli civilians. The university will not be intimidated by this sort of horrific and destructive behavior and will not engage in dialogue with any group using or condoning such destructive tactics. We will continue our actions to oppose anti-Semitism, racism, and all forms of biases so that all of our students, faculty, and staff and visitors can feel safe and welcome on our campuses. That's from the UW police, or president, sorry. So a little late there on the game. I feel like they were scared of I guess what people will say, because, typically you have liberals who are more, passionate for the Palestinian people. Now, to be full front, I'm not on either side. I'm not pro-Israel. I'm not pro-Palestine. I'm pro, I don't want to be involved in it. The whole situation, it sucks for the innocent people dealing with it, but I don't want America to be involved. That's where my standing on it. I support protesting peacefully, but this whole situation was not peaceful at all. And if these were Israeli people or Israeli supporters doing the same thing, I would say the exact same thing. I am not on either side. And this is disgusting. So there was a Riley Gaines event in Seattle, and there was this old couple being followed by some of these people too.
Have you thought about killing yourselves?
Look at this.
Have you thought about the earth would be better without you?
And like police are staying in the middle, but they're not doing anything.
Organic matter.
You'd actually be doing something if you're decomposing in the...
Just because they went to a Riley Gaines event. It has nothing to do with Palestine. So this is stuff that Riley Gaines has shown. Happening now at University of Washington, Seattle. Protesters chant, "God is trans."
God is trans. God is trans. God is trans.
And then more of it right here.
God is trans. God is trans. God is trans. God is trans.
Like, these people are crazy. Just look at them. These look like rational people to you? The mask going outside, all these people in dresses. I don't even know if most of them are women. I don't know what they are. Like, that's just crazy. And then Riley Gaines updated us, shared this her post, and it says, update, the protesters just threw feces at the Turning Point USA students at check-in. Literal human feces. So that means one of them literally had to like do it and then pick it up with their hand and chuck it. That is disgusting. Oh, there it is again. See, now the biggest issue that Seattle and a couple other cities have too is when it comes to situations like this, they are severely understaffed. This was just last year, 2024. Seattle Police Department reaches lowest staffing level in 30 years. More than 700 police officers left the Seattle Police Department in the past 5 years. So from 2019 to 2024, the department is now at its lowest staffing level in 30 years. This is what happens when you strip police of their power and tell cops that they're bad for doing their job, and you support the whole defund the police movement. Your whole place goes into chaos. You guys remember is it Chaz? I think it's Chap, whatever it's called. That area of Seattle that protesters really took over, and the city was like, you can have it. And it was just anarchy for like a week or something before the city was like, okay, we need to stop. I think someone died in there, and then they were like, okay. They literally just let protesters take over a part of a city. That's these liberal cities. Why would anyone want to live there? That's crazy. As of March 12th of last year, the force is down 375 officers. It's insane. And so it says right here, paying entry-level officers an annual salary $83,000. So that's what their starting pay was at the time. So they're now seeing the error of their ways. So this was actually yesterday. Seattle sees police hiring surge 500%. So, which sounds... This is how they get you with headlines. It sounds great, right? 500%. The city has hired 60 officers through April. So 4 months. That's 15 officers a month. Ahead of last year's point where they're at 10. So it's still not that much. It says the city expects to hire over 150 officers in 2025. Their applications have doubled, so that's good. So the biggest thing is, they're offering a maximum hiring bonus of $50,000, and now their starting pay is going to be $103,000 instead of $83,000. So they significantly increased their pay. So, which I'm all for cops getting paid, but this is the crazy thing: if they just had policies, or they just felt respected, a lot of them probably would have been fine working the $83,000. But you have a city and a state that supports all these crazy leftist garbage. All the defund the police, all cops are bad, all this stuff. Why would a cop ever want to work somewhere they're not appreciated, or they feel like they can't do their job by their own people that employ them, by their own state government? This is why people leave places like Seattle, like New York, for states like Florida, where they're taken care of, where they're appreciated. And I see Seattle starting to swing it around, but they already have that reputation. This is going to take years to fix. And obviously, with stuff like this going on, they're always going to be short on officers. And Seattle in general already has like significantly high crime, especially in the last 5 years. Their crime has skyrocketed. So they still have a lot of work to do. But like I said, these protests, you want to peacefully protest, sitting in the yard on campus with some signs, you do you. If that's what you want to do in your free time, you go ahead. I think it's stupid, but you can go ahead and do it. But when you're destroying parts of the campus, when you're destroying buildings that other students use because they actually want to go there to learn and not just be destructive, that's where you're crossing the line. When you're costing taxpayers millions of dollars, that's where you're crossing the line. You're disrupting normal people's everyday lives for your stuff. Like, it's kind of like, you guys know those Just Stop Oil people in Europe that will literally sit in the highway and stop random people from going to their work, and they'll just sit there. Like, how does that get people to stop using oil? How does that attack the big oil companies? Like, you're not helping anything. In fact, you might be hurting it more by having those cars just idly sitting in one spot. It's stupid. So yeah, you're not helping anyone. This was just destructive, and this was just anarchy. The sad thing is, all these people will probably be out the next day, and they'll probably do this again sometime soon, because there is no repercussions from any of these governments, any of these cities, for doing stuff like this. Like, these students, which I'm sure they're going to say they can't figure out who they were, even though they were arrested. I'm sure they'll still be able to stay on campus. I'm sure they'll still be able to stay attending the school. Like, I don't think anything's going to happen with it. I could be wrong, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think about this whole crazy situation going on, and if you guys think it's going to happen at more schools, if you guys think it's going to continue happening here. And I'll catch you next time.